Look, when you think of the greatest anime of all time, you tend to think of just certain types of anime. For me in particular, Evangelion is honestly one of the greatest animes of all time. You see, I'm a very, very simple person. I don't need in-depth world building or incredible animation for you to be my greatest anime of all time. I only need you to do one thing, to have amazing character development and have amazing characters. That's it. That's it. I don't need to have a big Star Wars type world building. I don't need amazing animation and how like Mappa Studios kill their studio workers. I don't need any of that. I just need a good character that has amazing character development. Every character in Neon Genesis Evangelion is amazing, and I mean every single character. It is amazing. The things that anime could do in the span of 24 episodes. And you might think that's a lot, that's a lot of time. But in theory, yes. But Rick and Morty takes 5 seasons to even have an inch of plot. And I'm not dissing Rick and Morty, I think it's a great show. But Evangelion has so much character development and so much character background that to fit all that in 24 episodes is insane. Asuka, the main girl, the best waifu of Evangelion, has an incredibly depressing background. I mean, god damn, a bit of a spoiler, but Asuka and her mother and their relationship and her suicide is just well made. I mean, come on. Ritsuko and his relationship with fucking Shinji's dad. Jesus Christ, Misato, and the reason why Misato is so in love with Kaji, it's the reveal of Rei being a clone, fucking Pen. It is one of the greatest character developing stories of all time. Sure, people complain about like not understanding the plot. That's not the point. That's not the point. If you watch an anime, most of the time it doesn't make sense. And if you mature enough, if you like mature enough in your anime fandom, you don't care anymore. You just simply don't care if it makes sense. A 14-year-old should not be piloting multi-billion-dollar machines in the first place. I don't care what your reasoning is. That should not be the case. But that's happening right now, and I'm not questioning it. And what makes Evangelion go from a 10 out of 10 to literally the best, greatest anime of all time is because of its 3 endings. For you who don't know what I mean is that Neon Genesis Evangelion has an ending by its own, and the end of Evangelion has an ending of its own, and Thrice Upon a Time also had an ending of its own. I'm gonna majorly spoil this, so if you want to just stop and watch Evangelion as it is, as I've already spoiled like half of it already, but if you want to watch it, please go ahead, just pause and just leave this video and maybe return to it. Get me more views, you know what I'm saying? Look, these endings is just absolutely insane. Let's talk about Neon Genesis Evangelion. Neon Genesis Evangelion ends with the human instrumentality project completing and Shinji in this sort of crossroads, right? To either go with the instrumentality project and just like have everyone be happy, or reject it and literally go to like actual hell, right? Like everyone's just gonna be like LCL material. As the last episode, people complain about like how ugly it is and how low budget it is. If you watch any Studio Gainax anime, whether it's Kareshi Kanojo or FLCL or even this, those type of like manga paneling and crayon drawing and absolutely bizarre pictures, those are completely normal, and that is what makes Studio Gainax Studio Gainax. What makes Kyoto Animation is cute girls doing cute things, your Kanadas, your Yuis, or whatever. What makes Mappa Studios so great is the great animation, the incredible fight scenes, and just, awesomeness of Mappa Studios. Madhouse is similar. What makes Studio Gainax is that the absurd, abstract visuals that you get occasionally. And with that, If you don't get that, just incredible animation of it, just pure action. Shinji in Neon Genesis Evangelion grows up. You could see him growing up from not liking himself to absolutely accepting himself and loving himself. The last scene that is literally iconic of just every single character congratulating him in some weird fucking like world. That's literally like everyone just like congratulating Shinji for achieving human instrumentality, achieving literally heaven on earth. The end of Evangelion is considered the bad ending because in the end of Evangelion, Shinji is almost persuaded and almost tricked to trying to do the human instrumentality project. When Misato kissed Shinji, there's not a single inch of romance in it. The reason why Misato kissed Shinji in that certain moment to push Shinji into doing this insane suicidal mission is to just tap in his 14-year-old horny brain. And that is insanely detailed and insanely insane. Like, I can't say the word insane enough, bro. You see, when kisses happen in anime, right? Whether it's a romantic comedy in Kaguya-sama or in like anything, it's almost like the peak of romance, the peak of human interaction in anime. In Evangelion, they made it a point of making it just purely trickery. It's purely just trying to influence Shinji to kill himself. And Shinji in the middle of the battle notices that. Shinji just realizes these guys are not fucking worth it. Every single one. Whether it's his father, whether it's Misato, Ritsuko, Rei, Asuka, they don't deserve any peace. Shinji just kills the world. Literally destroys the world. Destroys Rei, and not a single person is left alive. Of course, in the last scene, right, Asuka is just laying there with Shinji. Shinji tries to kill her. Absolutely fucking murders her, like trying to choke her out with his own bare hands. What Asuka did, and it's just incredible detail, is just try to touch Shinji just to show him, just like, stop, I care, I swear I care. That little just inch of careness made Shinji just doubt and made Shinji just let go. The last sentence of that whole movie, Asuka says, pathetic. Because it was. Shinji didn't grow up. With Thrice Upon a Time, it's very different. Thrice Upon a Time started off very similar to Neon Genesis Evangelion. Episode 1 to episode 6 is almost perfectly the same as Evangelion 1.0. But the difference starts in Evangelion 2.0. One of the key differences that I've noticed, and I'm pretty sure there's like a ton of differences that I'm missing just off the top of my head, but the key differences is when there was a trial for the Evangelion 3.0, it was not Toji who did the experimentation. It was actually Asuka. And I think that's just a really good change, because Toji is a character that Shinji cares about it most. Toji is literally one of the first friends that Shinji ever made in high school or in school. At the time, Asuka was not even close to Shinji's friend, and Shinji almost forced to kill Asuka was a good moment on just showing that Shinji actually cared for Asuka without showing the dance scene and all that, without going through an arc. It was just a good way to just cut through that little meat. And another change is, of course, the more obvious one, the introduction of Mary. Mary is incredible addition to the new Evangelion series. I mean, she's expressive. She's probably the most composed human being in the whole series. I mean, if you compare that to Neon Genesis Evangelion, where everyone is literally a fucking mess, Mary does not have any mess besides the occasional nyan. Sure, she might be a weeb. That might be the only problem that she is, but can't say that weebs are bad, or not, I'll just be calling myself bad. And the ending is very different because 3.0 is just where the story just absolutely changes. Nagisa is more involved in 3.0 than in Neon Genesis Evangelion. Nagisa only pops up for one episode, and his relationship with Shinji was a very gay one. It was very like Nagisa trying to bone Shinji, and Shinji just like actually liking Nagisa because Nagisa's actually a cool ass dude. While in 3.0 it's very much a friendship, and it's very much like brotherly friendship. What makes it sort of interesting is that there's a moment in 3.0 where Nagisa said to Shinji like, stop trying to do the fourth impact, you fucking idiot, there's something obviously wrong. And Shinji just does not listen and just keeps on fucking going. The ending of Thrice Upon a Time is based on redemption. It's based on redeeming your sins. It's a very, very happy ending. It's an incredibly happy ending. Shinji essentially defeats his father and talks some sense into him and saying that maybe destroying the whole world and destroying your own humanity isn't worth talking to your wife again. And you know, it saves the whole world. You know, we could see like after everything's over, the world is just completely normal. It almost like Evangelion never happened. Shinji, I assume, has like a romantic relationship with Mari, which is honestly great because Mary's also great. Mary's again one of the most normal human beings in this whole show. There's of course a couple of things that I don't like about 3.0 and Thrice Upon a Time and the changes they make, but it's because the story is just so much happier. But that's besides the point. The key differences between every single one of these endings is Neon Genesis Evangelion and the end of Evangelion focuses on the themes of anger, depression, and by the end of it, either loving yourself or just absolutely not, and see your destruction and see what happens when you don't love yourself. 3.0 or Thrice Upon a Time focuses on more messing up and redeeming and growth. Trying to like see, yeah, you're human, everyone screws up, but what are you gonna do to redeem yourself? What are you gonna do afterwards, after you screw up, to like redeem yourself, try to save the world, as they say. It is just amazing. Something that Giga bring up in his video, the author of Evangelion, Hideaki Anno, was in a terrible place while writing Neon Genesis Evangelion and the end of Evangelion. Those two stories are incredibly depressing. Incredibly depressing. This story, Thrice Upon a Time, and just this new series, it is a lot more positive. What Giguk sees is sort of just like what's below the lines. He said something regarding, he's like, I'm happy that Hideaki Anno finds peace and is looking at life more happily and more in a brighter mood. Look, I don't know if that's true or not, and I don't know if I want to know if it's true or not, but it is obviously a really, really compelling idea, and I'm gonna believe it. Look, I don't know what Giguk's fucking MLA citations are, but like, I don't care. Evangelion is one of the greatest animes of all time. If you want to ask me what my preferences are, it's obviously Neon Genesis Evangelion, and then the ending of the end of Evangelion. But Evangelion 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 3.0 plus 1.0 has its positives. I mean, there was a lot more action-packed anime, less weird Studio Gainax trying to fucking put crayon pictures over the screen, trying to diss waifus type of show. But obviously a really, really action-packed and really, really well-animated show. But again, Evangelion is one of the greatest animes of all time.